Hi, this is Cheryl St.Pierre. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these vine swirl earrings. And I've made them on different shapes of beads, even flat beads, like a flat heart. And I'm going to demonstrate on the teardrop, but they work great with round beads. I think they look equally as well with the round beads. I think these are 10 millimeter wide beads, and I think that's the magic number for this design. You can experiment with different shapes and sizes, of course. The flat bead, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really have an effect, so you could do it on smaller or bigger flat style beads. So what you're going to need for this tutorial is your, round nose pliers, your chain nose pliers, your flush cutters, and the small tip. It really helps with this design, but you can get away with the other ones. Your wires of choice, and I use my homemade ear wires. And then the beads. So what I'm demonstrating with is I've got the 4 by 3 millimeter rondelle, or is this a 6? I'm going to measure it just to double check. Well, actually, no, this makes it easier. This is a 6 by 4 millimeter rondelle. You can do the smaller one too. It's just what I chose today. I like the fact that it's a little bit bigger on top. It gives a little bit more dimension, shape to the earring. Bicones do not look good on this at all, so just letting you know. And the size of bead that I'm using is 10 millimeters wide and 15 millimeters long. So approximately that size would work for you. So let's, and we're using 20 gauge wire, and I haven't cut mine off yet. 20 gauge, which is 0.81 millimeters wide, and I will have the measurements in the description. And so what you need to cut off is approximately 4.5 to 5 inches. If you're using a larger bead, you might want 5 inches. So I'm going to cut 4.5 inches. So this is the only time you use a ruler, is to measure your wire. So if you want to put that as your list of tools, yeah. And I like to use the see-through wires for measuring my beads. It just comes in handy. See, did I say see-through wires or ruler? I meant ruler if I said wires. Okay, so I've got my two cut pieces, and we're making eye head pins out of them. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And you just want, your standard size loop that you use for your ear wires and earrings. So first you make the P-loop on top, like that. And then you take your pliers and hold it like that, and then just push it over. And the loop always opens up a little bit, like that. So you just put your pliers back in and twist it closed again. Then the next step is to make it flat, because look, it's not flat, it's curved, and so you're going to make it flat from both directions. Okay, and yeah, you don't want to work hard in this because we're doing basically a hand swirl for these earrings. So you need 2 of those. Okay, Got that. Now to put the beads on, and now you remember this is going to be the top of the earring, so you need the rondelle on first, then your teardrop. Okay, and I'm just going to give it a slight bend to the right for this one, and the next one will be to the left. And I will just, now I'm going to take, and I'm pushing with my round nose pliers so that the beads are tight up, because it's going to end up moving down a little bit, so you really want it tight as possible. And you're going to try and make almost a whole loop, as fairly small as you can and be comfortable. And you're going to, whoops, there, I've got it small, and I'm starting to pull, but it's not going to be tight. We want it a little bit tight against it, so I moved my pliers just to get it started, and then it's graduating a bigger circle, right? So I wish the camera was higher so I would be in focus. Okay, so do you understand that? You'll watch the whole video, because I'll do the other one in front of you too. So at this point, it's got a little bit of movement. You don't want it to have a lot. If you have a lot, then you need to take your pliers and move this over to the side. See how I put the tension that way and pulled it over. Now, making the shape, I am using, and this takes practice. It's looks easy, but these are not that easy to make. It's going to take practice. So I'm leading it around, but leading it around isn't enough. I also have to put tension this way to make it curve as well and shape. And so I'm going smaller and bigger to make that vine swirl effect. Now the first one's fairly easy because you're just doing it till you're happy. The next one, you're going to try and make it the same size and shape as this one. So I am pushing down that way and curving it around until I'm happy. And I want this to end up in the middle of the bead. Okay, and sometimes you have to push it forwards, but we will do that once we've done the other earring, because we're going to try and match the two together. So whichever one is the most forward, we will push the other one to match. Okay, so I think I've got it about halfway. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to hold my thumb on here to support it, because we don't want to distort the beautiful work that we've just done, but we want to continue its path like this to the top portion here and wrap around. Now it's similar to the cat or the snowman earring that we did last time, and doing the same type of collar. Okay, so it's like that. I've got it almost closed, but in order to snip it, I'm going to hold my thumb here to support it again. I'm going to open it up a little bit, and sometimes we have to snip more than once, and you have to guess where it will tuck in. So I'm going to snip that off. See, I didn't have very much extra wire there, and that was, but that's comfortable still. That was 4.5 inches for the 10 by 15. Now I'm going to tuck this in. Yeah, and see, I had to tuck it in there a little bit too. So now it's too long. So I'm going to snip it again. And for some reason, I can get my snips in. And that's where these type of snips are wonderful, because I can get right in there and do that snip. Now, if you have the other style of snips, it might not be able to do that for you. And there, that one's done. Okay, so the only thing that's left to do is to straighten this out, because it moves on you, and that's easy enough to do. You just want it parallel with that wire down here. Okay, that one's done. Now we're going to make the other one on going the opposite direction. And this one we have to try and match up the curl. Okay. So this one I had go that direction. This one I'm going to go this direction, and well, which is left. I'm just to make it, it's just easier to hold it sideways. So okay, so I'm just going to start it slightly like that. I'm going to get this out of the way because I know it keeps going out of focus. Okay, and now I was about here on my pliers, so it's good to be consistent. And I've got it really tight against the bead. And now I'm going to go like this, and I'm pulling the wire, and I'm going to do that force curl a little bit, and I'm going to stop at this point, and I have too much movement. Okay, so to fix that, I'm going to go like this and try and bend it more to eliminate as much movement as possible. Yeah, much better. Okay, so once you've got that, then you can continue with your curl. So I'm going to compare the height. Okay, so needs to be down on just a smidge more. I think we got it there. And now I'm doing that tension thing. Compare. So upside down if you have to. Okay, so I need to change the curve right about there. So right now it's just compare, compare, compare. We're doing good. This part is the exact same size. And I'm not sure if I'm the exact same size there. So again, we have to compare. Okay. Feels exact, but it doesn't look the exact, does it? You're all going to have micro differences. See, I see this one going wider. Now I'm going to carefully take this and move it to the left a little bit. Let's see if that made a difference. And now it's bigger because of that. So I have to tighten up my circle, and I just put a little bit of pressure there. Opened it up here. Okay, so I need to pull it down a little bit. Takes practice. This is the finicky part. This is the difficult part. And making sure your bead has less movement. Okay, I think I've got it. And we're about halfway. Okay, so I'm supporting it, continuing the wire up, wrapping it around. Do the snip where I think it's going to end up. Crimp it in. Should have done it more. Should have wrapped it around a little bit more. It's being difficult with the crimp. There we go. Okay, now I crimped it in too much, I think. Looks a little bit odd. So I'm going to fix it up a little bit. And how does that look? They're pretty good. It's almost impossible to get them exactly alike. See, this one's a little bit closer in here. I'm just going to push this in and adjust it a little bit because I had some looseness here. I had room to do it. If you don't have that room, just micro adjustment. Okay, I think that's good, and I think we're ready to put the ear wires on. And then we do the checks to make sure your earrings are sitting right. Okay, so if they're not quite sitting right, you can see from the top that they are, but you might need to adjust your little loop, and always hold your work still while you do it, but you want that loop parallel to that wire right there. And they're done. And they're turning out to be fairly good sellers for me, so it might be a good earring to add to your collection for sales. And you can experiment with different beads, of course, because you know, the beads, yes, it gives that handmade look, but the beads make all the difference, right? Okay, so thank you so much for joining me in this video. Please consider joining my membership and subscribing to, well, subscribing is the wrong word because people get confused with subscribing and having the paid membership. So the paid membership for my retired videos is what I recommend. And thank you for supporting me. Leave me a message, say hi. Even if your message is just to say hi, I love it. So I might not always get back to you because I have to make jewelry for sales and things like that. But I try once a week to look at my messages, say hi. I'll try and say hi back. If I don't, I'm saying hi to you here, and love you guys. Thank you for supporting me, and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.